TV3, also live on DSTV channel 279. My name is Grace Hamwa-Jiman.
Good evening. My name is Noble Crosbyan, and these are the headlines of the bulletin tonight.
News360 headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint,
Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal,
EcoBank, Nero Prime Water.
140 undocumented Nigerian migrants and a Ghanaian landlord linked to cybercrime activities arrested in a dawn operation.
Host Musa Dankwa says the 2026 NPP presidential race will be closer than the 2023 one.
Also in the bulletin, dualization works begin on Asokwa Ahoju Road, promising traffic relief as authorities battle delays caused by roadside trading activities.
In international news, citizens of Guinea and the Central African Republic will on Sunday go to the polls to elect their president.
We have details of these and more even as you continue to enjoy your holidays.
Let's get right into the bulletin. Starting from here, 140 undocumented Nigerian migrants and a Ghanaian landlord linked to prevailing cybercrime activities in the country have been arrested in an operation. The suspects are alleged to be involved in cyber-enabled financial crimes, including romance scams and sextortion. This is a report by Stanley Nibleu.
The coordinated dawn swoop targeting organized cybercrime networks was carried out by operatives from the Cybersecurity Authority of Ghana, the Ghana Police Service, National Security, and the Ghana Immigration Service. The operation targeted suspects involved in mobile money fraud, romance scams, sextortion, business email compromise, and wire fraud. In all, 141 suspects were arrested at two separate locations in Lashibi and Tabora in the Greater Accra region. At Tabora, 100 Nigerian nationals were arrested together with their Ghanaian landlord, who resides in the same compound. 41 other suspects, all Nigerians, 2 of them females, were also arrested at Lashibi. During the operation, security operatives retrieved 38 laptops, 150 mobile phones, and several internet routers. Preliminary investigations indicate that the suspects are undocumented migrants who entered the country through unapproved routes. This has raised concerns about Ghana's porous borders amid heightened security threats in the sub-region. Following the operation, the police CID briefed the media.
The Ghana Police Service, Cybersecurity Authority, Ghana Immigration Service, and National Security reiterate their unwavering commitment to protecting Ghana's digital ecosystem, securing the financial systems, and dismantling criminal networks that threaten national security and economic stability.
The acting director of communications at the Cybersecurity Authority also spoke to TV3 regarding the operation.
This is an operation that started midnight around 1, and we concluded all the activities this morning. And we have since been undertaking further forensic, investigations into some of the items that we've collected. I'm sure within the coming weeks we'll conclude investigations and the direction on the prosecutions, or whether they will be repatriated or prosecuted before repatriated. Those decisions will be taken when investigation concludes. But fact of the matter is that they are currently in custody.
The 140 Nigerian suspects have since been transported to a holding center for further profiling and investigations, while the Ghanaian landlord is currently being held by National Security. Earlier, the Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, warned of severe consequences Ghanaian landlords could face for renting properties to undocumented migrants involved in criminal activities.
If your premises is used
in carrying out fraud, you are equally liable for aiding and assisting. And that's why we picked up the Ghanaian landlord. And this is a message to every Ghanaian landlord.
Okay.
Be careful who you are renting your apartment to, and make sure that your premises are not being used in the perpetration of crime, else we will pick you up as an accessory to crime.
Forensic analysis of the seized electronic devices is currently underway. Already, security agencies have arrested close to 1,000 suspects linked to various cybercrime activities across the country. The Joint Task Force has hinted at expanding the operation to other regions as part of efforts to sanitize Ghana's cyberspace. Stanley Niblew, TV3 News, Accra.
Let's have a conversation on the back of this and bring into the discussion Dr. Edward Danso Song, the head of Cybersecurity Lab, Department of Computer Science at the University of Ghana. Doc, good evening to you. How effective are these intelligence-led multi-agency operations in dismantling organized cybercrime networks? Doc, if you can hear me, I'd like for you to unmute so we can have the conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much once again. And I must say that this is a welcome news. And barely a week ago, we had a similar conversation. And the thoughts that I actually came up with was that once we keep on, arresting people who are considered to be victims themselves, because they would also now parade themselves as victims because of, the human trafficking issues that are also involved in it, because this is a huge, reputational damage to the country. And as far as our security services is concerned, because, once these people carry out or launch any attack outside of the country, it is seen to be coming from Ghana and not from Nigeria, because the identities of these perpetrators are not known. Right, once such acts are actually committed, and this is a clear case of a transnational, organized cyber crime. And as I mentioned barely a week ago, these arrests could keep on going on. But how many times have we ever heard of any conclusion of a particular case that has been seriously dealt with? The Nigerian authority came up with a very severe punitive measures on anyone who is actually involved in such acts. And as a result of that, our counterparts in Nigeria hinted us that this is actually going to cause a whole lot of influx from Nigeria to Ghana, because Ghana, all that we usually think about is how to, repatriate them back to Nigeria. As borders are so porous, people come in and go out every time. What data do we have that any of these people who have been arrested have even been arrested before?
Right.
There are so many things that has to be considered, including the immigration service and how they also protect our country's borders. And this is actually a shame to Ghana that foreigners numbering about 100 can be in a single household.
Doc, so it brings me to my next question and a comment that the minister also passed. The role of citizens, this landlord in question, for instance, how critical is citizen reporting in uncovering cybercrime networks, and what suspicious online activities should the public immediately report?
Even considering this, that you rent out a household to foreigners, let's not even talk about 100. Let's even talk about 20, where these people do not go out and come in. You don't see them carrying out any work. They are always inside. Then, as the minister said, then such a person can also be associated as an accessory to crime. But what I'm actually saying is that our immigration system also needs to be up and doing, because the arrest can keep on going on and on and on. Once we are even not being able to arrest the heads of these cyber, fraud, because these are people they have recruited, and many a times we have, arrested people in their numbers 40, 50, who even end up even complaining that they were actually brought in to come and do other jobs only to find themselves doing these cyber, related acts. So to me, I think that the country has to be up and doing. Even in Europe, you can't just move to any other country and then just rent an apartment when you have not, proven any, ID, anything that even shows that you are in legitimately. Now, how did these people come into being? And how many times have we even heard of any prosecution, any successful prosecution being carried out? So these people are still emboldened because all that we hear of is that these people are going to be repatriated back to Nigeria. But how many times have we ever heard of people being sentenced to say 5 years, 6 years, or maybe 8 years in prison? And how are we even able to even arrest those who are in charge of these things?
Right.
We keep on arresting those that are actually at the low level, being brought in to come and through human trafficking to come and work and then end up being into these things. But I believe that we have to go a step further. It is not just enough to arrest 20, 30, and today 141, which is absolutely the highest so far.
Look, my last question to you would be the red flags we should be looking out for. Internet users and neighbors, what they should watch out for that may indicate cybercrime operations within or around their communities. And what long-term technological and policy measures can the country adopt to prevent cyber-enabled financial crimes and protect citizens online?
Thank you. We have all lived in other countries before. We've all traveled to other countries. Before a landlord or any real estate agent would allow you to stay, first of all, your passport, your visa. In ECOWAS countries, they can move in and out. Because if we are not careful, this thing could even lead to stigma, which is something that I actually fear for Nigerians living here in Ghana. So for any landlord to give out an accommodation to a foreigner, first of all, the passport you need to inspect. You also need to ask them questions like what they actually do, and for you to have a number like 3, 4, 5, 6 who are always inside without going out and coming in. What kind of thing do they actually do? And all of that. I think that citizens has to be on the lookout for all such things. The kind of vehicles that actually comes in, the kind of internet facilities they usually try to mount, and all of that. All of us should actually be a brother's keeper. We should always be on the lookout, trying to see what these people are actually doing. I'm not saying that Ghanaians are not involved, but the high number of foreigners, especially Nigerians, leaves us with so much, cause to be worried about. So I think that we have to go a step further than just these swoops and arrests that we have actually been doing.
Doc, thank you. Thank you so much. We're talking about Dr. Edward Danswansong is head of Cybersecurity Lab Department of Computer Science at the University of Ghana, speaking with us. Let's do some other stories tonight. Right,
Crosby, and still on the issues of security, a young woman who was allegedly held captive for 4 days at Daloguyili, a suburb of Tamale in the northern region, has been rescued following a swift police operation. The successful intervention by the IGP's Special Operations Team has brought relief to her family and renewed public confidence in security operations across the Tamale metropolis. Stanley Nibleu has more.
According to a situation report from the IGP Special Operations Team, the rescue followed a distress call. The call reported an alleged kidnapping at Daloguyili, a community within the Tamale metropolis, where a young woman identified as Haruna Adamu was said to be unlawfully detained by a suspect, Fuseni Ibrahim, a resident of the area. Acting promptly on instructions from the police command, the IGP Special Operations Team, led by Chief Inspector Abdullahi Tahiru, moved to the suspect's residence. Upon arrival, officers found the suspect in the company of the victim. The suspect was immediately arrested without resistance, and the young woman was safely retrieved and secured. Before he was taken away, he pleaded with the police to allow him destroy a charm he had used on the girl. Another charm he had tied around the girl's waist was removed. Both the suspect and the victim were subsequently transported to the Northern Regional Police Command for further action. The suspect was formally handed over to the Regional Criminal Investigations Department (CID) for detention and thorough investigation into the alleged kidnapping. Meanwhile, the parents of Haruna Adamu were invited to the command, where she was officially reunited with her family. Following the incident, officers resumed routine patrols across the Tamale metropolis as part of enhanced security measures for the festive season. These patrols are intended to increase police visibility, deter crime, and strengthen public confidence in law enforcement. In a similar operation earlier, the team clamped down on illicit drug peddlers operating in known hotspots within the metropolis.
What did I do? I have nothing. Oh, wait, check. I have nothing with me, sir.
So what are you holding? What is that?
Hey, stuff.
Which stuff?
This is ganja.
Which grade? Is it for you?
Amnesia.
Is it for you?
Oh, not with me. Somebody will buy.
During patrols, intelligence received from national security operatives led to the arrest of one Ibrahim Abudu at Taha. He was found in possession of quantities of tramadol capsules and dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. A subsequent search was conducted at his place of abode. Further intelligence during the patrols resulted in the arrest of one Abdul Hanan at Gumani, who was also found in possession of a parcel of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. Upon interrogation, Abdul Hanan identified Muhammad Ibrahim as a supplier.
This one is for me.
It's for you. Okay.
I brought it from someone is there.
From where's the person?
The person is in
the person brought it or you sent it?
No, the person brought it for me.
The operation team subsequently moved to the supplier's residence, where a search led to the retrieval of sacks and parcels of dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp, resulting in his arrest. The team also extended its operation to the Changli area, a known hotspot where the Aluta boys allegedly trade in illicit drugs. Upon sighting the police team, individuals at the location fled the scene, leaving behind quantities of benylene codeine, synthetic opioids including Rafinol 225, bupropion tablets, and dried leaves suspected to be Indian hemp. Police say efforts are underway to apprehend the owners of the recovered exhibits, who are currently at large. The operations have significantly enhanced police visibility and contributed to crime deterrence during the festive season. Please assure the public that continuous intelligence-led operations remain ongoing to ensure the safety and security of lives, property, and economic activities within the Tamale metropolis.
Let's now talk some politics, shall we? And the main opposition, the New Patriotic Party, it will decide on January 31 who will lead them into the 2028 general election. With just a few days to go, about 34 days to go, the 5 aspirants, they've been crisscrossing the country, engaging delegates with their messages. The following report has more.
The main opposition New Patriotic Party, NPP, will on January 31, 2026, hold its presidential primaries to elect a flag bearer for the 2028 polls. Ahead of that, Minority Leader Alexander Penyumakin in his 2025 Christmas message called for unity and decorum ahead of the party's flag bearer primaries.
Let our conduct inspire confidence. Let the message offer hope. And let our unity signal readiness for power. there should be life after 31st January 2026. Let's reflect on this even during this Xmas. The elephant may stumble, but it never stays down forever. It never forgets its strength. Our friends, 1 year is gone, 3 more to go, and I see and sense victory ahead. May God bless you. God bless the new patriotic party. God bless our dedicated foot soldiers. May God bless our beloved country, Ghana. I wish all of you a Merry Christmas.
The 5 aspirants who will be taking part in the primaries, Ken Ohene Japan, Dr. Brian Echampon, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, Dr. Yaose Duchum, and Kwabena Eji Japan, have been touring the country campaigning ahead of the primaries. Speaking on the key points, Executive Director of the Global Informatics, Musa Dankwa, says their latest survey shows that the upcoming presidential primaries of the new Patriotic Party will be closer than what happened in 2023. In the MPP 2023 primaries, then Vice President Dr. Baumia won by a convincing margin, getting 61.47% of the votes, with his closest rival, Kennedy Ohene Japan, securing 37.4% of the vote.
Those who said they were undecided is 9%. The question is, realistically, how many of these undisclosed will vote for either of these candidates? It's for you to determine if we were doing predictions. We are not there yet. On favorability rating, Baumia is 92% overall.
Overall?
Plus
92%
favorable rating. Ken is 85.
92, 85.
85. That tells you that somebody is in the lead based on favorability rating. That's
Yes.
why the election will be closer than last time.
A former member of parliament for Asante Achem North, Kwame Andy Apiakubi, believes that Dr. Brian Echampon will really show up in the upcoming presidential primaries.
You cannot come from an administration that is perceived not to have done well and want to exonerate yourself from all wrongdoing. No, we can't do that. So the baggage will still be with you, and I'm sure that the delegates are mindful of that, because at the last primaries, we're looking at 60, 65 numbers. Now we're talking 43. So it means that something has happened. I am very sure that those who are not disclosing, because I am from Dr. Brian Champon's camp, and I'm sure based on our profiling, which is not the results of the survey, I'm sure most of the undecided are with Dr. Brian Champon.
For private legal practitioner Martin Pibu, the MPP cannot win the 2028 general elections irrespective of who is elected to lead the party.
I don't see MPP making any winning the elections. No, then it will suggest that we don't have human resources in Ghana. As for 2028, let's be realistic. That thing belongs to NDC. 1.7 million votes. Now, if you look at our electoral cycle and the way human beings, we are pragmatic. We are not idealistic. So in 4 years, unless the NDC government loots and loots us far more than MPP looted, there's no chance that we'll vote MPP back in 4 years. No.
A professor at the University of Ghana Business School, Godfred Bokbin, says the chances of the NPP in the 2028 general elections will depend on how the current National Democratic Congress NDC administration manages the economy.
The economy will continue to dominate, and I'm sure that is where I see a bit of a challenge with the former vice president, because of how the economy performed over the 8 years, and because the trump card had been that he was going to do something about the economy and all of that. 2028 is going to be very difficult for the MPP. That is how I see it. If you look at the gap in terms of the vote numbers in 2024, and you compare that to what happened in 2016, and how long it took to close that gap and go into deficit in terms of unless something extraordinary happens, like we say in Ghana, it is not the opposition that wins, it's the incumbent that loses.
The MPP at its National Delegates Conference in July this year amended the party's constitution to expand the Electoral College. A total of 214,812 delegates are expected to take part in the new Patriotic Party's flag bearer election.
Well, let's now go to the Gold Board because its Chief Executive Officer, Sami Gyamfi, has dismissed claims of operational losses. According to him, Gold Board has not made losses, but rather surpluses. He spoke on the key point.
The impression is being created by some as though the Gold Board has made losses and is shying away from acknowledging that it has made losses. The Gold Board is not a typical commercial venture established for the main purpose of making profits. The Gold Board is a strategic corporation with two objects: foreign exchange generation for the country and supporting gold reserve accumulation by the Bank of Ghana. And that is why, if you look at the Gold Board Act, nowhere in the Act is the word profit used, rather the word surplus is used. We are mandate-driven and not necessarily profit-driven. And so if we even make losses in the discharge of our mandate, we'll be very happy to concede that and to show how that loss came about and the benefits of that loss, if any. And so nobody is shying away from losses. Facts are sacrosanct. The Gold Board is barely 8 months old. Per Section 76 of the Gold Board Act, it took over the assets, liabilities, contracts of the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company. So for the first year that the Gold Board has been in operation, our financials are available. We have not made losses. We have rather made surpluses. And we have published our financials as required by law, quarterly financials on our website. And anybody can go and check. So the IMF has not said the Gold Board has made losses. And it is important that we put that matter to rest. The Gold Board has not made losses. The question is being made that the Bank of Ghana is making losses and the Bank of Ghana is shying away from the losses. The Bank of Ghana says that the statement put out by the IMF that in their country reports that it made $240 million from January to September of this year under the Gold for Reserve program is speculative. It means the Bank of Ghana is shying away from losses. That is not true. What the Bank of Ghana is saying is this. I have been in meetings with the Bank of Ghana and the IMF, in which the Bank of Ghana has told the IMF that there are issues of accounting and financial reporting surrounding the Gold for Reserve program, that it has referred to its external auditors for resolution, and that how those cost items are treated in the financials can impact the level of profits or losses. And so the IMF should exercise patience and allow its external auditors resolve the issues.
Still News 360 live also on all our social media platforms at TV3 Ghana. We're back with more stories after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. Now, maternal mortality in Ghana is more than a health issue. It is a gender equality, human rights, and development crisis, according to the Minister for Gender, Children, and Social Protection. Speaking at a high-level dialogue on maternal mortality reduction, Gender Minister Agnes Namumolate said women die not only from medical complications, but also due to delayed decision-making, poverty, and weak emergency referral systems.
Preliminary data indicates that nearly 900 women died between January and November 2025, while an estimated 2,323 maternal deaths occur annually. This means that a woman dies every 3 hours while giving birth. The Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Agnes Namumolate, stressed that responsibility for saving mothers extends beyond the health sector to district assemblies, road contractors, finance officers, traditional authorities and community leaders.
It is not just an SDG requirement, but it is an obligation, a moral one that borders on each and every one. And most importantly, it borders on the positive masculinity quest we've begun. It is something that we need to engage our male counterparts or partners in ensuring that before, during, and after pregnancy, men and the children are safe.
Deputy Chief of Staff Naoye Bampoado described the rate of maternal deaths as clear evidence that incremental progress is no longer sufficient.
What is required now is decisive, high-impact actions that will confront the root causes of maternal mortality with honesty and with the urgency it deserves. And it goes even to procurement systems, financing, community leadership, and accountability at every single level.
The Director of Technical Coordination and Health Planning, Dr. Hafiz Adam Tahir, outlined specific interventions being implemented to strengthen the health system's response to maternal mortality. These include strengthening community-level maternal care, retooling hospitals, and improving referral systems. A principal planning analyst at the National Development Planning Commission, Ni Odoi Odote, reported that the maternal mortality ratio remains unacceptably high at 301 deaths per 100,000 live births.
These trends indicate that Ghana is off track. The national policy seeks to reduce these deaths that are linked to lack of policy guidance, but to delays in recognition, referral, and emergency responses as facility and community levels. The skilled personnel gaps at primary healthcare level is one of the things that we have to look at.
Analysis of trends from 2010 to 2021 shows that while Ghana has made some progress, the country still lags behind the global average of 197 deaths per 100,000 live births. The Sustainable Development Goal target for 2030 is 70 deaths per 100,000 live births. Odote highlighted significant regional disparities, with the Upper East region recording the highest maternal mortality ratio of 465, followed by the Volta region at 383. Greater Accra recorded the lowest ratio of 191. Women in rural areas, those with low levels of education, and those in the lowest wealth quintile remain most at risk.
Let's go to the Ashanti region because geolization works on the busy Asokwa Ahujo Roundabout Road in Kumasi has commenced. The project, when completed, is expected to ease traffic congestion on that stretch and parts of Kumasi. However, the Regional Urban Roads Department says activities of roadside traders and occupants along the stretch are slowing down the pace of work.
The Asokwa Interchange Ahujo Roundabout stretch of road is one of the traffic-prone areas in Kumasi. The government, under its Big Push initiative, has decided to dualize the road to reduce travel time. But work is at a slow pace due to failure by occupants to leave the area. The Ashanti Regional Director of Urban Roads, Naim Idris, says this could delay the project, which is scheduled to be completed within 8 months.
The contractor still doesn't have 100% possession of the site because there's also the issue of the garages. They have not fully moved. I believe with your intervention, they will also move. Luckily, the billboards have all been cleared. So the works on site is ongoing, and it is the expectation that we will be able to finish far long before the JICA project starts and complete. The JICA project starts somewhere in July next year.
The mayor of Kumasi, Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, has issued a 10-day ultimatum to all traders and occupants operating along the road to vacate the area and allow full-scale construction works to begin.
There are some we are about to leave by 2nd of January. The others who are going to leave by the 4th of January. The intention is that we don't want the contractor to have any impediment whatsoever so that he can go according to schedule and have the project completed on time.
Some of the affected traders say they are prepared to comply with the directive in the interest of development.
It's a man so about the coming. No, I not coming. I was saying, and Yamin Kwame, myself interest in tea. Send that she be a much remember the home fast when I was saying a trim home. Not a buying idea about boy or minor.
When completed, the Asukwa Ahoju dualization project is expected to improve traffic flow, enhance road safety, and boost economic activities along the corridor.
Now, the Tema Oil Refinery has restarted crude oil refining operations. This move follows several years of inactivity by the refinery, thus making a major step in efforts to revive Ghana's downstream petroleum sector. The resumption follows the successful completion of extensive turnaround maintenance works on the refinery's crude distillation unit carried out between August 1 and October 30 this year. According to the Tema Oil Refinery, the maintenance was completed within schedule and in line with international engineering safety and operational standards. As part of phased transition toward full operation capacity and in advance of the refinery's official recommissioning, TOR will continue operating over the coming months to stabilize systems, optimize performance, and ensure sustained operational reliability.
And following a successful year of operations, Bills Microcredit, one of Ghana's leading lending institutions, has held an end-of-year Durbar to celebrate performance and appreciate the efforts of its staff and stakeholders. The event highlighted the company's growth, resilience, and commitment to supporting small businesses and financial inclusion across Africa and beyond.
Bills Microcredit has built a strong reputation for supporting micro, small and medium-scale enterprises with accessible financing over the years. The company has expanded its footprint nationwide, promoting financial inclusion through tailored credit products and responsive customer service. Speaking at this year's Durbar, Richard Ni Amakwe, founder and shareholder of Bills Microcredit, highlighted the company's key achievements for the year.
In Ghana alone, almost 2 billion Ghana cedis in loans were disbursed to over 350,000 Ghanaian businesses and individuals. While as a group, over $400 million was disbursed to close to 700,000 small businesses and individuals in the continent. Let us continue to stay disciplined.
CEO Romeo Richlove Elomkweku Seshi said he is moved by the company's success since the founder stepped back and handed him leadership. He noted that the firm has recorded significant growth with greater expectations for the year ahead.
We are expecting very higher deliverables next year, and hopefully with God in our vessel we shall exceed. To the clients, we will continue to give them the best of customer service, to deliver quality service to them, and make sure that their expectations are met.
Staff members were rewarded with a 100% bonus and an upward salary adjustment in 2026.
That takes us to our next break. We have some Saturday night sports after this break. Stay with us.
Many nations, but for me, I hope that with Zaha, like Cote d'Ivoire will win it. But it's going to be hard. I think you have 2, 3 countries. For me, it's like Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire, Niger. I think these are the 3 favorites. But you never know. Everything can happen. Of course, was it sad? Sad, of course. I think Ghana is a big nation. They have to be there for sure. We don't have to talk that Ghana don't have to be there. They have to be there. This is 400%. You know, but yeah, sometimes football is like that. You know, you have to continue. You have to work even harder. That you are the next AFCON there with Ghana, and my biggest dream is with Ghana to win it. So we have a new chance, and then I think 2027 is again AFCON. So yeah, let's try to be there, and of course try to win it as well, because I think Ghana deserves it.
Well, still on the AFCON, the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations produced its fifth stalemate after Senegal and DR Congo played out a 1-1 draw at the Tangier Grand Stadium. Johan Rouge scored a deflected winner as Benin claimed a first-ever victory at the AFCON finals with a 1-0 Group D success against Botswana in Rabat.
It's Bakambu, and always used for the national team as an impact player. Away is Mbaye. Chance here for Mane, surely. They have the equaliser. Defensive slip is punished by Senegal, and Sadio Mane.
Ball launched towards the far post, still open, and out onto the left. Tempo slowing down just a bit, but now Benin turning it in! Took an almighty deflection, and Roche strikes gold this time in the yellow of the Morocco Stadium. Free kick, well struck, that hit the upright. Oh, it does. Record. I'm not so sure they've even seen a win yet. Crossing, goalkeeper. Ball is intercepted out onto the left. A chance to whip it back in. The goalkeeper.
And now to some European football. Arsenal responded to the pressure applied by Manchester City by beating Brighton 2-1 to retake top spot in the Premier League after Ryan Cherki inspired Pep Guardiola's side to victory at Nottingham Forest.
Ekitike drifting through. Florian Wirtz! Signals full time.
News360, we're back with more after this break. Stay with us.
In Ghana, our gold is more than a resource. It's our pride. And at Gold Ball Jewelry, we celebrate
Welcome back. Let's bring you the latest from the international front.
On Sunday, citizens of Guinea and the Central African Republic will go to the polls to elect their president for terms of office of 7 years. In both countries, the incumbent are strong favorites, with observers predicting they will claim victory outright in the first round with more than 50% of the vote. The Central African Republic has been marred by chronic instability for decades, with a succession of armed groups motivated by a variety of local grievances, opportunities for racketeering or political ambitions. From 2013 to 2016, it was only the intervention of African, French and then UN peacekeepers that averted a slide into deeper intercommunal violence. President Faustin Archange Touadéra, a mathematician and former university vice-chancellor, entered politics as prime minister under François Bozizé. Later, after a chaotic interlude of rebel rule and an uncertain transition, today approaching the end of a second term, Touadéra is seen as a far more political and partisan figure. In Guinea General, Mamadi Doumbouya, who led the September 2021 coup that disposed the 83-year-old civilian president Alpha Condé, is now preparing to convert himself into a constitutional elected ruler. Although Doumbouya will face 8 challenges, he has claimed the campaign and expected to win. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says overnight Russian attacks on Kiev show the true attitude of Putin and his inner circle about peace. Ukrainian capital Kiev was hit by a fresh wave of Russian missiles and drones, killing at least 2 people and injuring dozens others, according to the authorities. It comes as Zelensky travels to Florida, where he will meet U.S. President Donald Trump to discuss the latest proposal to end the war with Russia. Sunday's meeting is expected to focus on a U.S.-brokered 20-point peace plan, as well as separate proposals for security guarantees. Italian police have arrested 9 people accused of raising around 7 million euros for Hamas over more than 2 years. The money was ostensibly collected as humanitarian aid for Palestinian civilians, a police statement said, but was instead sent to the militant group via a complex fundraising system. Alongside the arrest, police say they have seized more than 8 million euros in assets as part of the investigation. Police say the suspects are specifically accused of carrying out financial operations believing to have contributed to terrorist activities. A ceasefire between Thailand and Cambodia has come into effect along the border, where almost 3 weeks of deadly clashes have forced nearly 1 million people from their homes. In a joint statement, the defense ministers of the 2 countries agreed to freeze the front lines where they are now, ban reinforcements and allow civilians living in border areas to return as soon as possible. The ceasefire took effect at noon local time on Saturday. Once it has been in place for 72 hours, 18 Cambodian soldiers held by Thailand since July will be released, the statement said. The breakthrough came after days of talks between the 2 countries, with diplomatic encouragement from China and the US.
And that's our package for you tonight. My name is Grace Hamuajiman.
My name is Noble Crosbiana. Thank you so much for watching. There's more news on our website, 3news.com. Good evening. Bye-bye.